to sustain operations, and many shut down, leading to job losses. In light of these challenges, how can small businesses adapt and innovate to survive? What strategies can they explore to remain afloat and navigate these difficult economic weather? Can small businesses be proactive and flexible in their approach to navigate through the current crisis and emerge stronger in the face of adversity? This business clinic segment today will focus on how businesses can stay afloat. This will be interactive as we have business owners in our virtual room where we'll ask their questions and our guests answers. There will be opportunity for you out there also watching today as a business owner to also ask your questions through our phone lines. The number will be on the screen shortly for that. In case you're just wondering, okay, what's happening today? This is the second edition of the segment which we've tagged the business clinic segment. Of course, once a month we have it to be able to interact with you, bring out some issues in the business and finance space, and get guests to speak about them, and not just even just to speak about them, but to find solutions. We will take a few stats now. Let's quickly take a few statistics now so that you can understand where we are. And thereafter, our guest will be on. I mentioned earlier concerning inflation, but you know already that Nigeria's inflation is climbing, rising. For the last few months, we've seen consecutive increase. The last statistics that we got from the NBS, that's the National Bureau of Statistics, indicates that Nigeria's inflation was at 29.9% for January, from 28.92%, and food inflation rose to 35.4%. In the midst of all this, we have a GDP growth of 3.46% as at the end of last year, from 2.54% in the third quarter of 2023. So if you put it cumulatively, Nigeria is still struggling with about a 3% growth, and we have a population growth about 2.6 or 2.7%. Where does it leave us? But one thing is clear, is that Nigeria as an economy is struggling with stagflation. What does stagflation mean? When an economy is suffering from high inflation and you have slow or weak economic growth. We actually did see also that rural inflation was at 28% compared to about 21.13% recorded in January of last year. So we have rural and urban inflation. According to Sweden, from their last data, we have about 39.7 million MSMEs in existence. But let me also shock you that that number fell from about 41.6 million. This data was at, I think, 2022, the last time that the NBS recorded the data in partnership with some of its partners. The NBS recorded that we had about 41.6 million MSMEs, and because of COVID and some other economic issues, the number of MSMEs in the country fell to 39 million. Of course, the Association of Small Business Owners have said that 10 million MSMEs shut down last year. The World Bank has also said that many Nigerians will be further pushed into poverty. For last year, it was 4 million. This year has been predicted as at December of last year, about 2 million pushed into poverty. As of June of last year, about 4 million are pushed into poverty, though the government is saying, Tinubu's administration is saying that it's coming up with different reforms, the consumer credit scheme there to be able to alleviate, some kind of pains, as well as the youth unemployment benefit and all of that. But many Nigerians still do not understand, even though the President Tinubu announced interventions for businesses last year, small businesses as well as big businesses, about some 5 billion naira for big businesses, about 50 billion naira for perhaps nano and micro enterprises, but we're yet to see anything from this administration since July. So this program today, this business clinic, will be focusing on how really to, for you to keep your business afloat, pending the time when the economic environment gets better. So let's quickly take a break, and when we come back, we will get into the program proper. Don't forget, it's largely interactive. You can speak with my guest today. I already have people in the virtual room here, so we will be taking all of that after the break. To stay. Samuel is the co-founder and chief operating officer at First Founders Inc., like I mentioned earlier. Okay, Samuel, are you back? Hello.
Nancy, good morning. Thanks for having me on the show.
Okay, good morning. Samuel, are you there? Can you hear me?
I can hear you go a lot, but I can hear you.
Okay. All right, let's get started. As a business owner, as a business founder, let me start by asking you, how is your business coping with the inflationary pressure? Because sometimes we could be lost in all this data and statistics, or government officials could just be speaking to us